Yo, what's going on everyone? Miles Midoriya here with the review and recap of Danmachi Season 4, Episode 20. The start of this episode was just sad. I was wondering when we were going to see what happened to Ryu's familia. We know what was talked about, but it was sad to see. We see the explosion happen, everyone made it out, then we see this dude Jura. He was mad their plan failed and yelling about how much those blaze rocks cost. The Estrella familia was talking their stuff, letting them know that their plan failed and that they're going to put a stop to them, but that's when they hit a juggernaut, and just like before, that thing came through taking people out. Here's where the extra sad part happens. Elise is asking Kaguya and Lyra to lay down their lives to save Ryu. They both agreed, and Ryu did not like the sound of that idea. Kaguya asks Elise, shouldn't she be the one to survive so long as her and Lady Estrella are alive, true justice will prevail. Elise said no, there are as many types of justice as there are people. How do you define justice? She still doesn't know the answer, but she knows Ryu always does the right thing. She stays true to her justice. That is true what she said. Everyone has their own view on justice and how they go about it. Elise told Ryu they need her magic to take out the Juggernaut, and that the three of them will go fight it to create an opportunity for her to use it. Elise told Ryu to promise her to be sure to make it happen someday, those ideals of hers. Lyra told her to live enough for the rest of them, and Kaguya gave her some weapons and let her know that she should use them in battle and not just keep them. That's when they went in to fight the Juggernaut. Ryu used the same magic that she did on Bell in the last episode. The Juggernaut ended up escaping and her friends are gone now. Ryu managed to get away, but she was ashamed about surviving. When she got back, she couldn't even bring herself to set foot in their familiar home because it would remind her of Elise. Plus, she had no idea what to say to Lady Estrella. Ryu mentioned when her wounds were healed, she went back to the 30th floor to give her friends a proper burial, but none of them were there. The monsters had ate them. All that was there were their weapons, and the Juggernaut was just ash. If I remember correctly, I think it was mentioned that it disappears after a certain time. Ryu said she had to avenge her friends, and before long, the pain began to turn into despicable thoughts. She is ready to take out all those close to that whole situation. She went to Lady Estrella to plead with her to lead the city, no questions asked. Ryu's voiceover did say that her emotions were dictating her actions. She didn't want to be seen like that, but most of all, she wouldn't want anyone to get in the way of her plan. Estrella agreed to leave and she said to Ryu she should give up on justice. Ryu was excommunicated by her, but she didn't take back her blessing, though Ryu thought it was probably an act of mercy on her. I wonder why she told Ryu to give up on justice. Could it have been because she knew what she might do, or was it because she was still hurt about what happened with her familia? I'm interested to hear y'all thoughts on this. Comment below. What do you think? Ryu went after those who had ties to Ruja familia or Evilist. She was taking them all out. She did remember defeating Jura, but didn't find out he lived until much later on. After all of that, she was engulfed by vast emptiness. She felt nothing. She was questioning why she had been left alive. What had she wielded all those blades for? That's when we see Seer pop up. Ryu said she had rescued her just like Elise had back then. She didn't want it at the time because she had yet to be judged for what she had done. I'm glad Seer was there for her and to help her out. I get what she means, like it's 50-50. She did go out there and just eliminate a bunch of people, but also in a way they did play a part in what happened. Even though some episodes back Jura did mention that they didn't know the Juggernaut was going to pop up, but they weren't innocent as well. Either way, Ryu did start to change for the better here and there from the new people that she started to meet. Jumping to the current time, Belle gets Ryu out from the rubble. She wakes up and remembers what happened before. They are now below the Coliseum. Belle tells her it's about that time for them to keep moving. Belle's carrying her on his back and she asks him why did he save her, give her a reason. He told her she would do the same for him. She said she wouldn't. She wouldn't save him if it meant he chimed in and said it's a lie. She's trying to tell him to leave her behind and we already know he's not going to do that. He's been saying in the past episodes that they're both going to get out of that dungeon. She brought up how she's a criminal, what all happened when her familia fought the Juggernaut, how she let her thoughts consume her. There was no justice in that. The very thing that her friends risked their lives for, that they trusted her with. Just like Estrella said, she gave it up. There's no justice left in her. She doesn't deserve to be rescued by him. Belle chimed in and said stuff like justice he doesn't know that much about, but she has given him so many things and that's got to be justice. He let her know that she has saved other adventurers' lives. Hestia, Lily, Wealth, him. She saved his life countless times. In his eyes, she was always the hero, a righteous champion of justice who swoops in and saves them. She told Belle she was wrong. She cast justice aside and lost control of herself. He let her know he won't let anyone tell him any different, not even her. Belle tells her he doesn't know the old Ryu. Maybe she did make a few mistakes, but the Ryu he knows was always right. She knew better than anyone, so she doesn't have to give it up or cast it aside. That justice lives on within her, in her heart. Just then, Ryu started to remember what Elise told her. Belle continued with, right now his justice is to make it home alive with her. Now we start to see Ryu have some hope that maybe she can make it home so as long as she's with him. During that scene, Ryu was crying. What he said was getting to her. To be fair, he was right. He doesn't know the old Ryu, so he can base his perspective of her on the current version of Ryu that has helped him and his friends out. If she didn't still have a sense of justice, she wouldn't have helped them out. She wouldn't have gave Belle tips on how to be a better adventurer. It was always somewhat there, she just didn't realize it. You think it was all good at this point in the episode, but nope, a barbarian pops out from the rubble, pushed Bell to the wall, he fell down and is not moving. I was like, is he doing what he did before and is playing like he was knocked out? RYUS calling out to Bell and she started to remember what happened with her familia. Then the monster got defeated. It was by Bell. He told her that he had heard her calling his name, but he was trying to lure the monster in closer. He apologized for scaring her and she told him she has a request for him to never do that again, and he promised. After walking a little more, they see a blue light. It turns out it's a river. Ryu questioned a water source on the 37th floor. She never heard of anyone mentioning anything like that, and it's sitting underneath the Coliseum. Then she thought maybe no one knew it existed because until now, everyone steers clear of that area. Just then, Bell suggested that they take a break. He passed out, Ryu healed him, and she gave him some water, and he woke up, and that's where the episode ends. Overall, that was a solid episode. We got to see Ryu's past during that moment and what happened afterwards. Also, her talk with Bell, which in a way may start to change her perspective on things when it comes to justice or just in general how she'll be acting in the future. But y'all let me know in the comment section down below, what did you think about the episode and what was your favorite part from it?